Hello and welcome to the peaceful town of Limazzana near the city of Brescia for the Grand Prix Asibis of Italy and round 6 of the FIM Maxxis Enduro World Championship. This is the penultimate round of the season, and two titles could be decided in Italy with Christophe Nambertin and Pelle Rene poised to win the Enduro 1 and Enduro 2 crowns respectively. There's added interest with the inclusion of two Enduro legends this weekend in the shape of Tadej Blazusiak and David Knight. Jeremy Joly was pushing hard for a podium finish on the last lap in Enduro 3. He'd crashed on the first Enduro test and was in a lot of pain throughout the day, particularly in his ribs and hand. He was looking good to finish in third until he lost a big lump of time when he crashed on the last test and ended up just 4 seconds off the rostrum. Egor Leok would record his best finish of the season, his only tricky moments coming in extreme. He was delighted to end the day in third position. The fans were delighted to see Ivan Cervantes looking back to his old self. He estimates his fitness is around 80% and is still concerned about putting his recently injured foot down hard on the ground. The Spaniard started strongly, then crashed in the first extreme test, but picked things back up and held off the charging Leok to end the day in second. Matt Phillips crashed in the last Enduro test, which also saw water get inside the KTM's airbox. He'd been pushing hard, but having opened a big cushion, he eased off towards the end. And the Aussie ace believes that was the contributing factor to his mistake. Phillips recording his 5th victory from the last 6 rounds. Veteran Albigoni taking 5th place behind Joly, the Frenchman less than 5 seconds ahead and just 4 behind Leok in third, with Cervantes second and Phillips comfortably in first.
Today went quite well for me, first in the scratch and first in the class, so yeah, when it's a good day you got to take it with both hands, and yeah, we're going to keep pushing and stay healthy and stay on the bike, and hopefully it pays off.
Christophe Nambertin began the Italian Grand Prix in the knowledge that he could be crowned Enduro 1 champion this weekend. Only Iro Ramez could stop him, and the diminutive Finn on the TM was perhaps resigned to the fate that the gap to his French rival was too big. He would fail to win any of the day's tests. A big mistake on the last extreme test cost him a handful of seconds, and he would end this day 3rd overall. Anthony Boissier would enjoy his finest showing of the season here in Italy. The Sherco riding Frenchman took 2 test fastest times and would eventually settle for 2nd position, his best result of the season so far. No stopping Christophe Nambertin, quickest in 6 of the day's 9 tests. He placed one hand firmly on the Enduro 1 crown by notching up yet another victory. Another close result, Carrero edging Oldrati out of 4th by 1 second, with 3 seconds separating Boissier and Remez, while Nambertin is in a class of his own.
It's a good day for me, for championship for sure. And my goal for tomorrow is to be world champion tomorrow. I hope.
The big story coming into the Italian Grand Prix was the inclusion of indoor Enduro champion Tadej Blazusiak. The last time he competed in this series was in Andorra back in 2011, and now he's been drafted in by the KTM factory team to replace the injured Antoine Mayo in E2. Yet no one, not even himself, could have imagined the start he would make Fastest in the first two tests, to take the lead, he was eventually edged off top spot into second place, yet trailed by just half a second at the end of lap 1.
It's been good, you know. I took quite a few risks, you know, the first lap. I have to take it easy. I got a long season ahead, so, you know. But yeah, anyway, I enjoyed myself, you know. It's great, you know, to be leading here. I think me and Alex were like in the lead in the E2 class, and it's the strongest class, so what can I say? And I'm over the moon, but like I said, you know, I'll try to stay on two wheels because, you know, I had a few moments, I have to say, for sure. Thanks.
The man occupying the number 1 position was the man all the locals wanted to see there, Alex Salvini. However, the Italian's advantage took a tumble when he took this tumble in the Enduro test on lap 4. It meant his lead was now down to 0.2 of a second over Blazuzyak. While they squabbled over top spot, there was a battle royale for third, led by Pelle Rene as he sought the world title. And Johnny Aubert, who was trying to stop his compatriot from doing it, even though his own title hopes looked slim. Also in the mix was Lorenzo Santolino, who managed to stay on his Sherco all day without coming off once. Johnny Aubert was flying high and with 2 tests to go was sitting in second place and keeping his overall championship hopes alive. It all went horribly wrong though on the last Enduro test when he crashed and as a result slumped down to 6th. That mistake allowed Pelle Rene to end the day in second place and edge closer to the title. Victory would go to Alex Salvini, his first of the season, and fittingly in front of a very enthusiastic Italian crowd. A big result for Pelle Rene, who now needs just 5 more points to be crowned champ, and a result too for Alex Salvini, for whom this is his first win of the season.
Finally, I catch the victory. It's been a really difficult season so far for me, and now come back at the top here in Italy is the best thing that can happen.
So, what did Super Enduro champion Blazuzyak make of his return to the WEC?
Yeah, it was great, you know. It was really cool, you know, to lead the whole, you know, to lead the E2, you know, after the first lap and being up there in the second one. You know, I made quite a few mistakes the second lap, lost my advantage, you know, I had on the guys, and I had to say I was a little bit tired at the end of it, you know. It's been a while since I, you know, done the World Enduro, you know, it's so much different. I mean, the difference here is like, you know, the trail, you know. Of course, you know, it takes a toll on you for sure at the end of the day, so it's a little bit different training, but yeah, overall, you know, it's try to come back stronger tomorrow.
During the winter months, Taddy continued what has become something of a tradition for him by becoming Super Enduro champion. The 5 times title winner is looking forward to the opening round of the new season in Poland in December.
Well, you know, it's always hard to, you know, to tell which one was the best. Of course, winning the title, you know, for sure, and was the most important. And you know, I think I had the most fun racing the last round. You know, the track was great, the dirt was amazing, and we had some good racing going on. So yeah, that one was definitely a good one to remember. But the whole season was great. You know, everybody, you know, the organizers, the promoter, everybody done a great job. So it was a great championship. Well, we're back on the 350, that's for sure. We're back on 350 for the Super Enduro. You know, what else new? You know, I mean, it's a new season, so it's always, you know, it's always a question mark. You know, first I still have to finish up the Enduro Cross season. It's still 7 to go, so I'm definitely gonna be, you know, in the race mode. You know, when the first round's when we're gonna be at the first round in Poland. So definitely looking forward to it, and yeah, it's gonna be another exciting season.
Coming up next, it's day 2 of the Grand Prix Assibis of Italy. 2 of the Asibis Grand Prix of Italy began with a thunderstorm and torrential rain. Enduro 3 World Championship leader Matthew Phillips had started well with a second place to Cervantes in the first test. However, misfortune was to strike him and strike him hard when he suffered a nasty foot injury in the first cross test, which meant an immediate visit to hospital.
Big mistake from my teammate Matt, and I only want to say so sorry for Matt, because it's a very good fight, and well, it's all is open.
With Phillips out, Oscar Balletti took over at the top of the Enduro 3 leaderboard, which now had a very unfamiliar look about it. Denny Philippets was second, while just 12 seconds covered David Knight, Antoine Basset, Ivan Cervantes, Jeremy Joly and Simone Albigoni. As they came in for second service, Balletti still led, with Knight now up into second, just 13 seconds behind.
Just having a ride round, I'm not trying to do anything silly, just trying to get the thing set up through it, but yeah, that'll be right enough, won't it?
The quest for victory in Enduro 3 was arguably the most exciting this season. Denny Philippets recorded 2 test wins early in the day, but he slipped down the leaderboard to eventually finish 6th. Simone Albigoni's among the veterans of World Enduro, and in front of his home fans, he finished the day strongly with a win in the last cross test to finish 4th and push Ivan Cervantes down to 5th. The Spaniard was 3rd at one point, but eased off toward the end. Jeremy Joly was battling all day, crashing in the first cross test, but getting stronger as the weather improved. Eventually, he would finish the day in 3rd, his first podium of the season. David Knight was riding what was essentially an out-of-the-showroom KTM and was closing on Balletti until he pushed too hard on the last cross test, crashing twice. He won the last extreme test, but couldn't close the gap to top spot. It was a remarkable day for Oscar Balletti. He failed to win any of the day's 9 tests, but he was quick and consistent throughout. A crash on the first Enduro was later followed by another in the last cross, but his fast speed throughout the day was rewarded with his first ever overall victory. Unbelievably less than 18 seconds covering the top 5. Cervantes 0.2 of a second behind Albigoni. Knight second on his return, and a fairy tale of a day for Balletti.
I'm very happy for the first GP win in Italy. Is very special. In the last extreme test, okay.
With 1 round to go, it's a 2-horse race for the title between KTM factory teammates Phillips and Cervantes, with the Australian hoping to be fit for France. France's Christophe Nambertin began the day knowing that if he finished ahead of Iro Ramez, then he would be crowned Enduro 1 champion. Jeremy Theroux started day 2 quite strongly, and after the first lap he was 3rd on the leaderboard. However, it all went downhill when he lost a lot of time on the second Enduro and extreme tests, and he slid down the leaderboard. It's been a year since Thomas Oldrati was on a World Enduro podium, and the Italian was looking good during the early stages of day 2. He lost a whole heap of time, however, when he crashed on the second extreme test, which cost him around half a minute. That pushed the Italian down to 6th, but from there he pushed the Husqvarna hard in a bid to get back up the leaderboard. Cristobal Herrero arrived in Italy just 3 weeks after dislocating his shoulder, and if hurting it again was on his mind, then it didn't show in his riding. He was quick from the word go, and the Spaniard kept the KTM close to the top of the leaderboard, despite coming unstuck in both the last Enduro and cross tests of the day. Anthony Boissier looked to be heading for the podium. He'd worked his way up to third with just one test to go. However, the Frenchman was hit with a 2-minute penalty, and that threw him all the way down to 9th overall. Christophe Nambertin knew he had to finish ahead of Remez to be crowned world champion, and the KTM factory rider was in unbeatable form. Incredibly, he was top in 8 of the day's 9 tests. His only blip was a small crash in the second cross test, which cost him around 10 seconds. As for nearest challenger Remez, to add insult to injury, he was awarded 3 minutes worth of penalties, which saw him end the day in 8th overall. Aldrati pushing hard at the end to record his first podium finish in a year, with Guerrero equally ecstatic in second due to his recent injury, while Nambertin is a worthy champion.
I'm so happy to win my new title in E1, because when I took the decision to go in E1 last year, everybody said me, no, it's not your style, not a bike for you. So I work during the winter, and the team follow me, and I'm very happy for everybody.
It's now a fight for second, with just a point separating Guerrero and Remez, while Enduro 1 champ Nambertin can ride without pressure at the final round in France. A dramatic start to the day in Enduro 2, when title challenger Johnny Aubert retired due to mechanical issues on the very first test. This meant that Pelle Rene would need just 5 points to secure the world title. Into service, he was second, some 17 seconds behind Alex Salvini.
It's really slippery and difficult. The rain stopped, so I hope sunshine will come and we can finish under sunshine.
Rene certainly appeared to ease off through the rest of the day and had the look of someone riding for points. His cause wasn't helped by a foot injury he was carrying from the day before. One area where the Frenchman struggled was the Enduro test. He crashed here on each of the 3 laps. Meanwhile, Aubert was left to reflect on what might have been, as his slim championship hopes looked to have finally crumbled away.
Game over?
Yes, the bike stopped after maybe 2 minutes in the first Enduro test. I don't know what happened exactly, but maybe something with the water.
While Salvini dictated the pace out front, there was plenty going on further behind. Lorenzo Santolino was pushing hard. His times similar to Tadej Blazusiak, as along with Rene, they tussled over the final podium positions. Apart from a crash in the first Enduro test, Santolino was looking strong, especially in extreme. It was a day in which he would triumph in 3 of the tests. Blazusiak, standing in for the injured Antoine Mayo, had made another strong start and was second to Salvini in a number of tests. Due to injuries, it has not been the greatest of seasons for Alex Salvini. But if the Italian was going to top the leaderboard, then it had to be here in Italy. Even a big crash on the second Enduro test, which chucked him over the bars after his Honda hit rocks, couldn't stop him ending the day with a smile and maximum points. Whoever said nice guys don't come first has never met Pelle Rene, the Frenchman reaching the end of day 2 to confirm his position as Enduro 2 champion with 1 round to go. Aubert retiring, Rene just needed a finish and he would take third behind Santolino and Salvini, who gave the huge Italian crowd the result they were looking for.
It's an incredible weekend for me. Yesterday we arrived at the first victory of the year. Today the second one, and here in both of the victory are here in Italy, and it's perfect.
Well done. Cheers, Alex. The two wins also move Salvini up into second in the championship at the expense of Aubert, but it's Rene who ultimately triumphs.
Yeah, it's perfect. I win the title today before the last race in France, so that's really good. No, I'm really happy. The E2 class was really difficult at the beginning of season because we was 4 guys for the title and a big mental battle, and yeah, I'm really happy to win this title.
A time penalty on the previous day cost Davide Sarek a victory, but no mistakes on day 2.
This is the big step for the championship. I have to thank my team because they did great work to put on point the bike and all worked good. I'm really happy here in my Italy.
A 10-point gap is all that's keeping Olofsson and Soroka apart in the battle for the Youth Cup title, but which one will be crowned champion come France? In the junior class, Danny McCanny picked title rival Giacomo Redondi by just 3 seconds.
A few crashes here and there, lost time, and then I caught back, and then again it come down to the last extreme test, and I gave it all and walked away for the win, so I'm real happy.
Redondi needs to win day 1 in France and hope McCanny fails to score points if he is to carry the junior title fight through to day 2. With that, it's farewell from Italy. See you in France for the final round.